Okay, this is lab number 3 from the CompTIA Network Plus N10-008 course. These labs are basically can be found on other sites. It's on the Labs on Demand. Right, so we're going to be using the Kali Linux box. And the first thing we're going to do is going to type in the user, which is Kali. And then we're going to type in the password, capital P, A, $W0RD. Go ahead and log in. And the first thing we do on this particular lab is we go up here and we open up Terminal Emulator up here at your top upper left. Okay, so you're going to type in nmap space 10.1.16.12 space, use the arrow, and then use nmap.txt. Hit enter. Now those using the Labs on Demand, just to make sure that it exists, you can actually click the blue score box below number 3. It should come back and say correct. And one of the other ways you're going to do it anyhow is you would do the cat command, concatenate cat nmap.txt. And of course I did it backwards, txt. Now, it actually did a quick port scan. Right, it did a quick port scan. Notice that port 22 SSH, port 80 HTTP, port 111 remote procedure call bind, and then port 5000 universal plug and play. Right, so the next step, what they want you to do, this way you know that that was successful capture. You've scanned it, you found the open ports. And if you're using the lab, one of the questions they ask you, what ports here could you attempt to intercept? Obviously, SSH there, remote desktop protocol, happens to be port 3389 on a Windows system. Telnet's on a Windows system, port 23. And only port 80 was listed, so we're going to do this because port 443 wasn't. So you click it, and it should score correct for you. All right. Now, next one, we're going to actually capture some HTTP traffic. So what we're going to do here, we're actually going to open up Firefox by using the command line, and you're going to type in Firefox. .1.16.12. It'll come up with a default port. You'll be able to see that, and you guys will have the options of selecting what type of page is being displayed. Apache test page, Apache 2 test web page, default website, parentheses, Apache 2, or is it the Apache 2 Ubuntu default page? Well, that's the correct one. So we select that, move on. Next thing they want us to do is go back to our terminal. They want us to go to File, open up a new tab. Okay, in this new tab, now they want us to type in the sudo command, and then space tcp dump, space -I for the interface, ETH0, not the O, space -VV, space DST for destination, and then 10.1.16.12, and port HTTP, and then the -W for writing, and we're going to call this file http.txt. You're going to hit enter. It's going to ask you for a password. Use the password we've been using for all these labs. And now it's in that listening state. So next thing you want to do is go back here. Just kind of refresh this. That's what they want you to do. Then go back, open up a third terminal window. So we're going to go here, click Tab. And here they want you we're actually establishing an HTTP connection basically to the LAN virtual machine. So WGET space 10.1.16.12 / index .html. Hit enter. Now basically it's letting you know that it's downloading the file. The file went fairly quick. Sometimes the lab will tell you, oh, this might take, an entire minute for this to happen. So next thing you want to do is go back over here and go ahead and close the web browser. Now, if you remember right, the second one's where we were running TCP dump, okay? Just depends, just kind of pay attention where you're going. Now hit Control-C at the same time to actually stop it. And you want to see what is stored, where it's stored. So what we're going to do, we're going to type in ls. And it tells you that, hey, right there it is. We should see an http.txt, which we do. That's exactly what we should see. So one of the things in the actual lab on step 10, they've got another score to make sure that the file does exist. You can actually see that it does. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing it here. So you move on to step 11. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to display the contents. Now I'm going to have to pause this once we're doing because it does take a while. All right, so we're going to go back here and we're going to type in sudo. And we're going to do tcp dump. And then you're going to do the -r for read, and then we're going to open up that file, http.txt. And I'm going to pause the video. Okay, as you see, it has produced what we were looking for. Now, if you actually open it up a little bit more, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to read, and not really. Basically, what they want you to do is make sure that you can see some seq, SEQ and ACK files. So both of those are displayed. Now you can actually have these where you can just go and look at, let's say you want to just use grep and you want to look at the sequence. Okay, so here let's go and do this. Let's do sudo space tcp dump. Now I could have up arrowed, which would have made it a lot easier. -r http.txt, and then do the pipe command, the straight up and down, space grep, space -i, and what are we looking for? And this is going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause this one again. All right, so you can see that they are highlighted in red, so it did work. And these type of flags or messages are going to ask which following protocols. If I have UDP, IPX / SPX, TCP, or ICMP. Well, we know that that happens to be TCP. So the next thing they want us to do is open up Wireshark. Okay, so just type in Wireshark. And Wireshark opens. Now, Wireshark makes it a lot easier to read what you were just looking at. So let's go ahead, let's go to File, and let's go down. One of the things they're going to look for is we want to read that file that we were just looking at. So we're going to look for Open. We're going to scroll down here. We're going to look for HTTP text and Open. What they want you to look for is Ubuntu-logo.png, which is right here. Well, if it's a GET statement, they're actually trying to download it. So we found it. Didn't take real hard to find it. You can actually search this up here using a display filter. It says, what is the result of the HTTP GET command in this example? Basically, it's a .png file is being downloaded. That's the answer they're looking for. It says, will the results of the HTTP GET command be displayed in the Wireshark output? Yes, because HTTP is not encrypted. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to do SSH. So we're going to back up here. Remember, we've got the different tabs we can use. And what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to hit Control-C and I just closed Wireshark. Doesn't really matter. I can reopen it. I'm going to type in clear. All right. I have a nice fresh one. And here we're going to go. We're going to type in sudo tcp dump -I for the interface, ETH0 -VV, and when you know I hit the wrong keys, and then DST 10.1.16.12 and port SSH. We're going to write to ssh.txt. Hit enter. I'm not going to open up another terminal. I already got them open. I'm going to go ahead and hit clear here. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to type in SSH space lamp, which is a server you're logging into, at 10.1.16.12. Now it's going to ask you here, just go ahead and type in yes. And obviously got to do the password again. So basically you just connected using SSH. Now, if you want to find out what your identity is, who you're logged in as, type in who am I, which should come up lamp, and then the host name, which is 8, okay? Lamp 10, okay? So it'll ask you which command prompt is displayed, and you can look right there, lamp at lamp 10, which is correct. Okay, so basically what they want you to do here is just type exit. Okay, select the terminal one window where the TCP dump is being run and do Control-C and then type in ls. Let's make sure we got ssh.txt, which we do. Good. Now, we're going to do the same kind of thing we did earlier. I don't know if you can up arrow it. Yes, let's see. There we go. We could actually do the read. And what I could do right here to kind of simplify stuff. Whoops. Now, I'm going to pause it again. Okay, we see that it did capture the traffic, okay? So we can actually use Wireshark to do this. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up Wireshark one more time. And I'm just going to type in Wireshark. And what do we want to do? We want to open up ssh.txt. We do it. And obviously, you're not going to be able to read it because everything is encrypted. That's really what they want you to look at. See if you can actually see any of that. It says, do you actually think you're going to be able to see the who am I or the host name in there? No, you're not. It says because SSH is encrypted. All right. So next one we're going to do, we're going to leave that open. We're going to kind of Minimize that, get it out of our way for right now. Just remember, you can see that it's open. We can grab it, doesn't really matter. Again, I'm going to do this Control C because we're doing the same goofy thing. I'm going to do clear. And what are we going to do here? We're going to do sudo tcp dump -i eth. I knew I fat fingered it. ETH0 -vv ICMP -w for write, and then the file we're going to create is going to be ping.txt. Password. All right. Now let's say get another terminal window, and I've just kind of left them open. No big deal. I'm just going to do clear again. And I am going to ping. And I'm going to do a count, because if I don't, Linux goes on forever. Not like Windows where we have to set the -d. Right, so it's going to be 10.1.16.12. We're going to do 5 pings. Okay, once you go back here where the TCP dump, just go Control C. And we're going to do a few of the same things. What are we trying to do? Well, we want to read this one, okay? So we're going to do sudo tcp dump -r ping.txt. Now I'm going to pause it again because it does take a little while. Okay, we can see it did the same thing again. Again, we're going to open up Wireshark one more time. And we're going to go look at the ping.txt. And what they want you to look at is be able to figure out how many requests and how many replies per each, which there should be a corresponding one for each. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and open it. And if you maximize it, it's a little bit easier to read. And you can see there's a reply, there's a request, there's a reply, there's a request. That's exactly what they're looking for at that point. So, did ask, in the earlier command, you sent 5 ping packets. Why are 10 packets displayed? Each ping has a request and a reply. That's what it's supposed to have. Okay, it says close Wireshark. I guess we're done with it for now. And what do we got left? We've got the questions, okay? So in the questions, why isn't a ping port displayed as open on the LAMP server? Right. Ping uses ICMP, which does not operate at the transport layer where port numbers exist. Ping, or ICMP, works at layer 3 of the OSI. Says, what is the default port number for SSH and HTTP? SSH is port 22 TCP. HTTP is TCP port 80. And your last one, could you still have intercepted HTTPS traffic? You could have intercepted it, but you can't read it. Why? Because it's encrypted. And that's it for this one. Thank you, and we'll get the next one up as soon as possible.